Men who have been proposed to by their girlfriends. How did you feel about it? Pretty good about it, I guess, because I said yes. Even better now, because 20 years or so later I get to say, hey, this was your idea. I made all the first moves with my boyfriend, and whenever I express any sort of exasperation with him, he loves to play the "this was your idea" card. It was humbling. She had a learning disability and wrote, and then read out loud her proposal. She was terrified of blowing it, and it was the most important moment in her life. We were both in our 40s, and I was blown away, because after being with her for 7 years, I didn't know how important it was to her. We're in our 60s now. Still humbled. Heartwarming story. Nice to hear. Thank you for sharing, smiley face. Okay, so a few weeks after we met, we were taking a shower together and she corners me and says, so are we dating? Are you okay with us dating? It's okay if you say no. Will you go be my boyfriend? Of course, being the absolute specimen of ungentleman that I am. I say, well, you caught me with my butthole out. I can't say no. Fast forward 4 years. We are camping. The nearest town is 60 miles away. The car is a few miles away. It's cold, and, I'm changing clothes. I'm butt naked in the tent. She says, so baby, I've been thinking. I say, oh Lord, let me at least put my pants on. She says, could you see yourself marrying me? Have you thought about it before? Will you marry me? I said, well, you caught me with my butthole out. I can't say no. She thought that was hilarious. Then we had a good long chat about it. On track for getting married in April. I think it's pretty cool that she did it both times. Definitely made my life easier, and I'm sure I'm underappreciating the clarity. LOL, I liked this story. Just awesome. The most curious thing was that when I told other people we were engaged, about 80% of the people would ask, how did you propose? And then I had to explain I didn't, smiley face. Just curious. Do any of your male friends, family give you it about it? I'm considering proposing to my boyfriend, but I'm not sure if he'll feel emasculated. Not me, but my mum proposed to my dad because she got tired of waiting for him after they'd been going out for almost 10 years. He was casual about it and was like, sure, I'll marry you. My dad was always shy and my mother more direct. They'd known each other since they were 15, so they'd been together for so long they kinda forgot about marriage. They've been married for 30 years now and still going strong. My husband and I are a younger version of your parents. He's shy and withdrawn and I'm loud and outgoing. I asked him to marry me after 6 years of dating, from 13, 14, and he was very quiet a moment, long enough for me to get worried, because he likes to think everything through. When he finally answered, it was just this quiet, deliberate okay. From the outside I know it doesn't sound whirlwind romantic novel, but it makes me smile ear to ear at the memory. We're celebrating our 11th anniversary in October and we're still so in love with one another that it's actually kinda embarrassing. My girlfriend walked up behind me while I was cooking, hugged me, and said, what would you say if I asked you to marry me? I said I'd probably say yes. We've been married 22 years and I'm still waiting for her to actually propose. You need to start hinting. Openly look at engagement rings and wedding dresses. Leave web pages open with most romantic places to be proposed to at the front. Turn other engagements to your advantage. Mask your engagement desire with celebrity commentary. Hint through the grapevine. Have her plan a romantic getaway. Wear your prettiest dresses to dinner. Women have a hard time with subtle hints, but if you combine methods you can get her to propose. Remember, De Beers recommends a ring at least worth 3 months of pay, so don't let her get away with cubic zirconia. Capital S. I pretty much just quoted various Cosmo-esque websites for that. Wear your prettiest dresses to dinner. You need to look your best for the photos if she's going to propose after all. Exactly. Men shouldn't be afraid to wear a hot dress every once in a while. In fact, if she's paying for dinner then you should look your best. S. I asked my dad this question. I didn't want to get married, but there's nothing else to do in Cuba, so I did it anyways. Oh damn. Partially the reason why poor people, farmers conceive tons of kids in poverty-filled countries. Or 100 years ago. Also people needed tons of kids, because one, half of them will die too. You need cheap farm hands to help out. I wasn't really planning on proposing, but one day while surfing the web I found this ring that was exactly his style and even had customizable runes. He is a die-hard lover of all Viking stuff, and I knew I just had to get it. I bought 2 rings, invited him to our favorite restaurant, and after dessert I popped the question. No, I didn't get down on one knee or announce it for everyone to hear. My husband got so happy and yelled out, "Oh, it's awesome." When I showed him the rings and, he popped a boner that lasted all the way home, and he was such in high spirit that he decided that we should have a bake-off. Spent the rest of the evening gaming and stuffing ourselves with cake and buns. I was worried that he would feel emasculated and stuff, but he said that he's really happy to have such a cool engagement ring, and he has never been one to think that by being a man you had to do manly stuff and not be overshadowed by women. He still tells me almost daily how much he likes being married, and now we have a kid coming our way, so I guess everything is really nice. My husband got so happy and yelled out, "Oh, it's awesome." And he even popped a boner. Now that's marriage material. Both of you sound awesome. I'm happy for you. Your husband sounds adorable. My mum proposed to my dad in a pub about 2 months after dating. He said no until he found a steady job and could support them. 2 weeks later he found full-time work and said they could get married. They celebrated 30 years together in May. I love them so much. In this modern day that would be considered a massive red flag of crazy. Glad it worked out for them, smiley face. My mum proposed to my dad. They are still married after 30 years. My dad had been married twice previously and my mother once before. He said he never wanted to get married again, and she said frick that. So one day, when my dad got back from work on the railroad, she was waiting for him with a steak and some scotch, and she asked him and he said okay. The end. My parents have been married for 29 years. Together for about 47 in total, I think. And my mum proposed while they were doing the dishes one day. She just decided one day and my dad went alright, and they got married at the courthouse with their parents and 2 witnesses. Fastest way to a man's heart is his stomach. If that doesn't work, prostate. Wait, are you telling me my proctologist wants to be more than friends? I melted. Happiest moment of my life. Didn't once occur to me what the conventional norm was supposed to be. Didn't feel emasculated or anything. Just felt so loved. Actually, I did at one point think, frick, getting proposed to is the best feelings in the world. Frick me, I can't do this for her now. Fuck, how do I make her feel as loved as she is making me feel in this moment? Frick, this love it is so hard. Unfortunately, she passed away 5 months after that, and I never did get to wait for her at the end of the aisle. Oh that took a turn I didn't expect. I'm so sorry. It was great. We had lived together for about a year, and one Sunday afternoon we were sitting on the couch talking it, and she started talking about how women could use boobs to get men to do literally anything. I argued that she was wrong and we weren't that simple. She sat on my lap facing me, lifted up her shirt and said, "Will you marry me?" I was sworn to secrecy afterwards, but I'm pretty sure Reddit doesn't count. I love this. This is how I actually stop arguments with my husband when I'm losing. Hubby brings up a key fact I didn't think of, which turns the tide of the argument in his favor. Me. If I lose this, he will be absolutely insufferable and smug for at least 3-4 days. Pulls up my shirt and bra and flash him mid-argument. Hubby, surprised, sputters a bit, then goes to grab my tatas. It used to work way more often, but after 8 years together he is catching on. He still smiles and grabs them, but he will continue arguing while doing so. He's learning. Bring out the buttocks. I had the ring in my hand. I was saying how happy she made me, and how I wanted us to be together forever. And then she interrupted and said, "Will you marry me?" And I said yes and put a ring on her finger. Then I said, "Hang on, that was my line." And she said sorry. I got excited. Then she cried a lot. This is my favorite story of them all. Well, maybe except the boobs one. Scrolls furiously. That's really sweet, smiley face. Hey, it's the 26th of December. We only have 5 days left in the year to get married and have it count toward our taxes. We should do that. Okay. I was fine. At that point we'd had a kid together since the previous September and had been together for almost 10 years. Marriage was a tax convenience for us, less than an everlasting bond between passionate lovers. I love her all the same though. We just never put any sentimental importance into marriage. I suppose her real proposal was the November before our daughter was conceived, where she said we should make one of those. After I texted her a picture of my 5-month-old niece at the time. And my heart basically jumped out of my chest. So I was very excited and happy. We should do that. Let's make one of those. I love how your wife speaks, lol. Why waste time, say lot word when few word do trick? It was a confusing set of emotions. We had been together for a while and I knew I was ready. When she decided she was ready, she thought it was silly to hint around through it was time for me to get a ring and propose to her. Instead, she thought one of us ought to be surprised. She proposed to me in one of my favorite places and then gave me a ring to put on her finger. In the days after, I did a lot of thinking, wondering if it was a little emasculating. She already makes a lot more money than I do, and sometimes it feels like we have reversed traditional gender roles. Ultimately, I came to the satisfactory personal conclusion that there was no need for a conventional proposal, and all that mattered is that we are happy. As an added bonus, where I had been ready for so long before she did, having her propose removed any doubt in my mind that she wanted it. If I had proposed, I may have always wondered if she agreed, even if it wasn't quite the right time, just to spare my feelings. Now, there is no uncertainty. We took our unconventionality to the next level this summer when we very secretly eloped. Imagine our families is surprised to learn that A, we were married, and B, we had secretly flown from Canada to New Zealand and gotten married atop a mountain. It's our relationship, and we want to do what makes us happy. That's probably the best wedding photo I have ever seen. The part of her dress flowing in the air is absolutely perfect. Thank you for the great story and photo.